plastic in your water. How do we get rid of that? Do I need to drink filtered water all the time? Is that the only source of plastic? Well, of course not. Why are plastics bad? And what's some new research that came out as to finding a simple way to remove nano/microplastics, also known as NMPs, from our water? Well, NMPs escaping from centralized water treatment systems is cause for global concern, right? There's a lot of plastic all over the place in society, but that includes your tap water, that includes plastic water bottles, that includes plastic containers, prepackaged foods that have them receipts that we touch, and so we can ingest, we can take in plastic just by touching all sorts of ways, up to the point of a credit card's worth per year. At least the average American will ingest into their system and gets in our tissues, and it can cause reproductive issues, hormonal issues, pulmonary issues, increase your risk for heart attack, stroke, and even death. So what can we do about all this? When it comes to simple ways, before we get into how to remove them from water, well, if it's tap water, we'll use a filter. First off, that would just be the best way. Drink filtered water, right? And don't drink water out of plastic bottles would be best. That's one of the primary sources of microplastics getting into our system. But, you know, if you have tap water that you're drinking, boil it. Long story short. So, and you would like hard water, meaning it has more minerals in the first place. Then you can even filter it after you boil it. But if you're going to do anything, you know, it could remove up to 90% of the NMPs, nanomicroplastics, just by boiling the water. They found at a recent study. We'll talk about that here in a second and why. Because you're probably wondering, you know, how does that happen? Like, does the plastic just evaporate? Because I asked the same question. Like, didn't make sense, right? But it does make sense. Let me explain it. So what are some things to avoid when it comes to nano or microplastics in the environment? Well, of course, processed foods, prepackaged foods, avoid storing things in plastic Tupperware containers, right? Don't reuse water bottles, avoid plastic water bottles in the first place. Use glass bottles, ceramic mugs, cook with a stainless steel pan, use a wooden cutting board. Keep your air space clean. Remember, you can also get it from the air, right? A nice ventilated, clean air living space. We talked about why that, you know, that was a factor that could contribute potentially to autism even, you know, when we talk about, you know, air living space. So it's just, that's an important thing I think a lot of us don't think about, is why, you know, I mentioned it kind of twice there. And when it comes to fibers of your clothing, of rugs, of carpets, of curtains, you know, let's use natural fibers, right? So what can we do once the plastics are in our system? Well, how do we remove these microplastics? It's really hard, right? So you can have chelators, like we talk about beta-alanine, you know, whatever, forming carnosine all the time. And there's other ones, there's a bunch of them. But, you know, when it comes to removing them, it's really tough. So what can we do? We can have more fiber, go organic, and exercise. Exercise can actually help us to maybe sweat some of them out, at least, you know, to the best degree that we can get rid of them, right? So what we had in this study that was done by researchers at Guangzhou Medical University and Jinan University in China was they took tap water and they actually added a bunch of plastic to it, even more. They tested it for plastic, added a lot already, and they dumped like a bunch of microplastic into it, and they said, let's see what can remove this. They boiled the water, and it removed 90% of the NMPs, the nanomicroplastics, right? So, you know, why is this? How is this even possible? Well, what happens is the plastic precipitates with the minerals, right? So it kind of clumps up together, kind of coagulates, kind of combines, you know, they bond. And so when it bonds, now you can expel that easier, right? Instead of them floating around like tiny little things that are tough to get rid of, and they're too small, and, you know, they're going to get stuck all over the place, you actually could get rid of them. Which I thought was really interesting, right? Because you don't see that plastic just like purely evaporating out of the water just because you're boiling it. Or maybe you might think, oh, well, if I boil the water, isn't it going to like melt all the little plastic and just get dispersed throughout the water, which I think is logical reasoning. Well, no, apparently it binds to the minerals, but that's not if you had, say, like distilled water, right? So this is hard water. We call that hard. It has more minerals in it, right? So if it's mineralized water, this will be even more effective because there's more minerals for the plastic to bind to, right, and coagulate with, so that we can expel them. After boiling, you would love to filter it, but you know how you could save yourself this trouble in the first place? Just use a filter. Use a really good filter that, you know, has a mineral component that will, you know, bind to the plastics and filter it in the first place, and then you're not drinking any of them. So that's what we got for you guys today. I thought it was, you know, pretty neat. Microplastics, they're all around us, and, you know, that's what we can do about it, at least to some simple degree. Who do we got on here? Say what's up from Estonia. How you doing? Estonia, never been. Probably never will. Maybe one day. Don't know that. I would see Estonia, actually, thinking about it. Kennedy, how you doing? Thomas, JWLZ Dave Beast from the East. What's up, killer? How you doing, man? Happy Saturday. Alexis, Avram, Willie Isaac. As for now, so we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday night. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy When Wellness.